Today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve all four types of quadratic equations. We have the first type here, x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. And we know that all quadratic equations can go into brackets like these, and we usually try to turn these brackets into the quadratic equation using FOIL or grid method. But we have to reverse this process and factorize this equation into those brackets. We're going to use grid, where x squared goes in this top corner, middle corner. Negative 4 goes here, and the 3x in the middle is split among these two because the sum of these two boxes is equal to 3x. Now, we need two things that multiply to x squared, which are obviously x, and two things that multiply to negative 4, and also add up to 3. Now, 1 times 4 is 4, and negative 1 times 4 is negative 4, and 4 minus 1, okay, 4 plus negative 1 is also 3. So we can put the negative 1 over here, the 4 over here, get 4x, negative 1x, and then we have our whole grid done. Now, these two sides are our brackets. This first bracket is x minus 1 because of the things that are on this side, and then the second bracket is x plus 4, which equals to 0 because our first equation also equal to 0. Now, one of these two brackets has to be 0 because anything times 0 is equal to 0. So either x minus 1 is equal to 0 or x plus 4 is equal to 0. We can add 1 on both sides to get x equals 1 and minus 4 on both sides to get x equals negative 4. Here we have our second type of quadratic equations. We can solve it using a quadratic formula, which is true for all quadratic equations, which has three variables in it, a, b, and c. Well, how do we get these? A is the coefficient of x squared, so here a equals 2. B is the coefficient of x, which is negative 5 here, and c is the last number without a coefficient, so c equals negative 7. Now, if we punch these into our calculator, suiting the variables for our values here, we have a plus version and a minus version because there's a plus minus over here. Now, our plus version has the answer as 3.5, and our minus version has the answer as negative 1. So our x is 3.5 or negative 1. The third type of quadratic equation is 3x squared plus 5x equals 12. Now, this isn't actually a quadratic equation yet, but we have to turn it into one. By taking away 12 on both sides, we get 3x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals 0. We can use the same reverse grid technique we used earlier and put 3x squared and negative 12 here. Two things that multiply to 3x squared would be x and 3x. And, well, 12, we only have 3 and 4 and 6 and 2 and 12 and 1 that multiply to it. However, 3 and 4 together don't add together to 5x, and any negatives of them, they do not either. But if we do put a 3 here and a negative 4 here, we realize that there's already a 3x here. So we get a 9x and negative 4x, and 9 minus 4 is equal to 5x, which we should get, and 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So we can turn that into our brackets, x plus 3 times 3x minus 4. And we can turn that into x equals negative 3. But this one's a bit more complicated because we have multiple steps. But if we just add 4 to both sides, we get 3x equals 4. And if we divide that by 4, we get x equals 4 over 3. So x equals negative 3 or 4 over 3. Here's our last type of quadratic equations. You can see, again, like the last one, this isn't a real quadratic equation yet, but we simply add 6 on both sides to get 3x squared plus 13x plus 6 equals 0. Now we can punch those numbers into our quadratic formula here. That gives us these two fractions as our answers for this quadratic equation. Thank you.